right. So we will go ahead and get started. I feel like this is, there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and start off laying on our backs. We will begin a little bit of some breathing work here. Good. So go ahead and just settle on in, closing your eyes if you want to, maybe hands on the belly, and just starting to notice and be aware of our body in terms of its position, in terms of how it feels, in terms of any pressure that we're noticing between our mat and our body. And taking some deeper breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Using this time to just really kind of let go of whatever happened in our day, whether it was busy, whether it was slow, whether it went according to plan or totally haywire. Maybe we haven't had a chance to take a deep breath, so using this moment to do that. On the next exhale, bringing your awareness to your center, noticing that your belly is nice and relaxed to start. But then on the next exhale, we're going to start to just bring some gentle activation into it. So exhaling and just drawing that belly button up and in, feeling this almost wrapping sensation all the way from the back of the body to the front of the body. Almost like you are zipping up a zipper in that midline, almost like you're just coming all the way together here. Option to bring your hands to either side so that you can kind of feel this work coming in towards the center and then releasing. Our breathing is so important as we go through class because it's what helps us engage more muscles, engaging our diaphragm, our breathing muscle as the top of our core, and our pelvic floor being the bottom of that little cylinder here. So on this next one, we're going to exhale and hold that gentle activation in our center. Keep holding it and continue normal breathing. So appreciating that we really can do both of these things at the same time. Maybe poking around a little bit and seeing what is active, what's not active. Maybe noticing even that one side is more active than the other. But that we're still able to just breathe normally and hold this position. Keep holding here, and we're just going to slide one leg out to straight, inhaling as you do so, and then exhale, float it back up to the top. And we want this leg to be relatively light so that it can slide smoothly. And I want you to think about that you're drawing this leg in and out by using those low abdominals and not just the muscles of the legs. And also in terms of the low back, we want to stay in the same position when our leg is bent and when our leg is straight. We're alternating sides here, turning on and off certain muscles. On this last one, we're going to slide one leg straight, hold it straight, and just squeeze. Squeeze that whole leg, maybe point the toes. And then from here, we're going to exhale and lift that to about the height of the opposite knee, and then slowly hinge it down. Once again, we want some of this work to come from those low abs, so maybe feel around here to monitor. One way we can help that happen is to think about being light through the opposite leg. So don't use the opposite leg to push down to help you lift. See if you can keep that opposite foot like it's floating on a cloud. As you lower down, try not to just clunk down. We want everything to be slow and controlled. Good. On this last one, we're going to exhale, hold lifted. Just point and flex that foot. Good. Point and flex. Point and flex. Keep this leg squeezing all the way nice and hard. Last one. And slowly lower down. Perfect. Slide that leg back up to a bent knee position. And then slide the opposite leg straight. Hold it straight. Lengthen it long away from the center of your body. And I want you to prepare even before you lift by pulling and scooping in with these lower abdominals. So exhale, lift the leg to about opposite knee height and slowly lower. We're here in a pointed foot position. Good. Keeping the same position of our low back so that it's not arching as we move. Opposite foot relatively light on your mat. Good. A few more like this. Keep that leg squeezing. Our leg might feel like 1,000,000 pounds right now acting against gravity. And on this last one, hold it lifted. We're just going to point and flex the foot. That's the only thing that moves here. Last one. And point it and lower down. Perfect. Bring both legs back to bent. And let's do a few gentle rotations. You can go as far as you want to as long as it feels good. Notice if anything feels different one side compared to the other. From here, bringing both knees back up to the top. And then we're going to go ahead and rest your arms down by your sides. Feet are about hip distance apart. We're going to inhale through the nose to prepare. And as we exhale, we're just going to take a nice little pelvic tilt, lifting tailbone only, and then lower it down. And again, exhale, lift tailbone to start, drawing your lower abs up and in towards your belly button, and then release. And I want you to really ask yourself if you can feel the work here in the front. We are preparing for a bridge, which works the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the body, but I want to make sure that you can kind of feel the core kick in at the very start of our bridge lift. So we're just practicing that initial part right now. Maybe it's helpful to have your hand right here, kind of above your pelvic bone, and thinking about the pelvic bone drawing closer in towards your belly button. On this next one, we're going to start to lift up a little bit higher each time. So exhale, lift the tailbone, and then start to bring some pressure into the heels as you lift the vertebrae higher up. And then rest it back down. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time, peeling up and peeling down. Good. And slowly starting to make our way into a halfway lift. This can be a place that feels comfortable for you to hold. just as long as head, neck, and shoulders stay nice and relaxed. At this halfway position, we're going to hold here, breathing normally. When you're ready, we're going to tap both toes up towards the ceiling and then both toes down. Tapping both toes up and down. Maybe a little extra tuck here with the tailbone to keep the work out of the low back. On this next one, rest your toes down and then heels are going to lift. Both heels up, both heels down. Even if it doesn't feel like you can get very high off, that's okay. We should feel kind of a deep calf muscle working. On this last one, place your heels down. And then as we lower, we're actually going to rock hips side to side as if a leaf is falling off of a tree. So shift your weight into one foot, shift your weight to the other foot, and slowly lower those hips. Good. All the way down into the center. Perfect. Exhale, curl tailbone first. Peeling each vertebrae, segmentally rolling through the spine until, again, we're halfway lifted. From here, we're going to start some very small marches. So one foot hovers off of our mat and gently placing it back down. Switching sides, option to have hands right at the front of the hips so you can monitor those hips staying level. We're trying our best not to let them tilt side to side like we just did on the way down. Good, controlling here through the pelvis and through the SI joint. So both of these kind of sandwiched together. Last one on each side. And both feet back down, squaring those hips and slow to lower. Tailbone is the last thing to come down. From here, hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. You can rock from side to side. You can make circles, whatever feels best for you here. From here, we'll do our nice little push-pull exercise to release that low back and lengthen those vertebrae. So as a reminder, your knees are reaching away from your belly, but your hands are pulling in towards your belly. So both of those are going to happen at the same time. Push and pull, and maybe feel this little opening sensation throughout your low back. Again, it's a small, gentle pressure, but hands are pulling in and knees are pushing away. Feeling an openness. Perfect. From here, keep the right knee in towards your chest, but let the left side come down. We're going to hold that knee in towards our chest, but release and relax our hands down by our sides. Putting pressure now into the left heel, we're going to come up for a single leg bridge, keeping this knee in as close to us as we can. So exhale, lift both hips up, and slow on the way down. Two more just like that. Exhale, lift, and lower. On this last one, hold here at the top, little pulses up, faster and higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the hips. From here, take your hands behind your right knee, clasping right behind, and we'll stretch out those hamstrings. Exhale, press the back of your knee in towards your hands, lengthening your leg up towards the ceiling as best you can, and then bend it back down. This is our first kind of extension of that leg, so it might feel kind of tight. Maybe noticing that each time you straighten, you're able to get a little bit further each time. The goal is not to reach that full straight leg, but to just get a little bit closer towards it. This is a contract, relax. So we're contracting our quad muscle in the front to relax the hamstring muscle in the back. On this last one, hold here at the top. Give your ankle a little bit of some circles here. So circle that foot clockwise and counterclockwise. You might feel some uncomfortable pulling sensations as we stretch some of the nerves in our legs. And then bend it back down and relax and release the right. Left knee now is going to hug in towards your chest. Good. Hug it nice and close as you feel comfortable. And then release the hands down by your sides, but keep the knee in close to you. Inhale through the nose to prepare. Exhale, press down through the right heel and lifting both hips up. And slowly lower. Try our best to not let the left side droop down. We want to keep driving that left hip up towards the ceiling and slowly lower. On this last one, we're going to hold at the top, pulsing those hips higher and faster, squeezing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. From here, taking your hands back behind the knee again, hugging that knee kind of close to the chest, and exhale, straighten out that leg as much as you can towards the ceiling and bend it back down. Good. Again, exhale, lengthen, straighten, press the back of your knee against your hands, and relax. If you're able to get all the way straight, maybe start with your knee in even closer towards your chest. On this last one, we're going to hold that leg lengthened, starting our circles with the ankle going clockwise and going counterclockwise. You can see my foot in the shadow here. Good. And then slowly bend it back down, release the leg. Perfect. From here, we're going to begin coming into our tabletop position. So to start off, we'll come into some marches. Exhale, engage those lower abdominals, nice neutral spine, and then hinging from the hip, one leg coming into tabletop and hinge down. Alternating sides, lift and lower. That knee stays bent at 90 the whole time. Both feet nice and light, like they're floating on clouds. And then on this next one, we're going to meet both legs at the top. Option to keep your hands on your belly or to bring them right down by your side. Making sure that those knees are directly over the hip, that they're not coming in close to you and not super far away. So right here in tabletop. Breathe here as you hold. Feeling all of the muscles in the lower abdominals helping to support the low body. And then on this next one, we're going to extend one leg nice and straight and long. Inhale it back in. Exhale, straighten and lengthen. Good. On this next one, we're going to make it a little bit bigger by hugging one knee in and lengthening one leg long, and then switching sides. So hands grabbing the shins. And switch. Inhaling for 2 and exhale for 2. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 2. Last one on each side. If you can, meet me back in tabletop, but if you need to take a break, go ahead and do that. From this tabletop here, we're going to straighten one leg up towards the ceiling and bend it back down, switching sides. Other leg straightens and bend. Let me move my camera a little bit higher up. There we go. So straighten and bend. On this next one, if you can, let's meet both legs at the top, squeezing those legs together, heels together, toes apart, knees kind of pointing out to the side. We're going to lower the legs just 2 inches down and then 2 inches up. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 2 more like that. Good. Last one. Relax it down. Awesome. Hug those knees into your chest. You can make little circles. You can rock from side to side. Perfect. From here, we're going to go ahead and meet me back in tabletop for some reverse marches, hinging from the hip, lower only as far as you can, controlling down, and exhale it back to the top. Again, you do not have to tap your toe or heel down on your mat. That is actually quite challenging to get that far down, so only lower as far as you can, maintaining this same position of the spine. Last one on each side. Perfect. And hug those knees in once again. We are going to prepare to roll over onto our side for sideline series. So pick a side. We're going to set it up so that our hips are fully stacked, one on top of the other. And then belly button is going to draw up and in, lifting here. And upper body is still top hand somewhere other than your mat. I like to bring it onto my top hip. And then top leg is going to lengthen long here. So reach it up to the height of the hip. From here, we're going to inhale and kick to the front for 2. Exhale, kick to the back for 2. Again, we're only kicking as far as we can while staying as still as possible through the upper body. I can, of course, kick much further, but I know that I'm not going to use my core to do that, so I'm keeping it small. The kick back is more of a squeeze back, so we want to feel it in this glute. On this next one, we're going to start a little bicycle circle, so bend and extend straight into the front and kick long and straight to the back. Bend and extend, reach and lengthen. On this next one, let's go ahead and reverse direction, so straight leg to the front, bend and extend to the back. Straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. Each time you straighten, you're also reaching 1 inch further. Check back in with the core. Make sure it's still active. On this last one here, hold that top leg long and straight. Little circles about the size of a tennis ball or baseball. We're thinking about drawing those circles on an opposite wall here. And reverse directions of our circle, finishing strong. Last 3, 2. On this last one, hold long and straight. We're just going to flex the foot and point the foot. Flex and point. On this last one, hold flexed, little tiny lifts. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Relax this top leg either in front of you, or you can grab hold of that ankle with knee pointing upwards, whichever is more comfortable. Extend that bottom leg long and straight. Exhale, squeeze it up to the top as high as you can, and slowly lowering down, trying not to plop it down. Exhale, squeeze, lift, and pause. Slow release. On this last one, we're going to hold lifted, small circles. Last 3, 2, reverse directions. 3, 2, on this last one, squeeze up as high as you can, just hold and breathe. Lift 1 inch higher if you can. For 3, 2, and slow on the way down. Perfect. One more thing as we reach this top leg back up and over. All we're going to do is a nice kick up towards the ceiling and let it come down. My kick is not all the way towards the ceiling. It is slightly in front of me, so a little diagonal. But I'm making sure that this top hip does not rock backwards as I kick up. On this next one, we're just going to kick slightly more diagonal, so a little bit kind of 45 degrees and back down. Just 2 more like that. And last one. Perfect. Go ahead and do a nice 180, head coming to the other side of your mat. Or if you want to, you can just roll right around. Setting it up the exact same way with hips stacked, with belly button pulled in and lifted. Don't worry, we'll stretch it all out right after this. And then from here, top leg is going to lift up at the height of your hip. From here, we're going to inhale to the front for 2 and exhale to the back for 2. Ask yourself if your top shoulder is wobbling, if your chest is opening and closing, if your belly is coming forward and back. If it is, try to keep it still by making your kick a little bit smaller. And again, inhale forward, exhale back. On this next one, we're going to bend and extend that leg. Every time it straightens, it also lengthens. Bend and extend, sweep and reach. This is slow and controlled here. On this last one, we're going to reverse direction, so straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. Keep that belly button pulling in.
What's up, honey? What do you need?
Uh-oh, I think someone got unmuted. I think it might be Janet. There you go. Awesome. On this last one, hold that top leg long and straight, small circles. Rotating from the hip socket, not the ankle. These circles are small and quick. On this next one, reverse directions. From here, hold, lengthen, and lifted. All we're doing is pointing and flexing the foot as much as you can. Flex the foot, pull those toes up, point and reach, lengthen long. On this last one, hold that foot flexed, little lifts up to the top. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Slowly bring this top knee down, either knee down or foot flat. Knee kind of diagonal, whichever is more comfortable. From here, bottom leg is going to reach long, and we're focusing here on that inner thigh. Exhale, lift all the way up to the top. Doesn't matter if your foot is point or flexed, and slowly lower. Exhale, squeeze and lift. See if you can get 1 inch higher than you think you can. On this next one, we're going to hold lifted, make little circles. It does not have to be the most coordinated circle in the world, but we're just trying to keep that leg moving. We're trying to keep that knee straight. And then reverse directions. On this last one, we're just going to hold lifted. Try to lift up 1 inch higher. Breathe here. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower. Don't plop it down. Top leg is going to come back up and over. Restack the hips. From here, it's just a nice kick up and kick down. Really, again, trying to stabilize through the core. You might feel a little bit more wobbly here, but trying your best to keep the support and stability coming from the center. On this last one here, we're just going to bring that leg a little bit slightly more in front of the body. So we're at like a 45-degree angle now. Just 2 more like that, swinging it forward and back. This one's much more challenging. Perfect. And relax. Roll over onto your back, and we're going to stretch out our figure 4 stretch. So crossing either ankle over the knee and letting that hip just open up. We have a couple options. You can stay here and maybe bring some gentle rocking, or you can pull knee in towards your chest, either same side shoulder or opposite shoulder. You can bring both knees kind of in towards your body, just as long as head, neck, shoulders stay relaxed and down. Do what you need to find that sweet spot in the muscles that we just worked. Maybe that's pushing that knee away. When you are ready, we're going to switch sides, other ankle over other knee, playing around with this stretch. Everyone has different stretches that feel good for them, so whatever works. Taking some nice deep breaths through here. Every time you exhale, just relaxing and releasing those hips even further down. From here, we're going to do one more quick exercise for the lower abdominals before we roll to our bellies. So we're going to go ahead and bring legs back into tabletop. Instead of reaching away from the center of the body, arms can be down by your sides. We're just going to pull the knees in towards our chest as much as we can, maybe lifting that tailbone at the bottom. And then right back to tabletop. Again, exhale, scoop and pull, lift, keeping your neck relaxed. And drawing up and letting it slowly come down. 2 more like that. Exhale, scoop, lift. See if you can really use those lower abs to lift the body, not the legs. Last one. Perfect. That one's tricky. We're going to go ahead and lengthen out long. Arms and legs reaching away from each other. Either pointing or flexing the foot. Stretch as long as you can, like you just woke up in the morning. And when you're ready, we're going to roll right over onto the belly, keeping that length. From here, pull that belly button up off of your mat. Lengthen your neck long, shoulders away from your ears. And then from here, we're going to lift opposite arm and opposite leg, reaching long first and then just hovering right off of your mat. Head comes with you, it's neutral. Exhale, lift, lengthen, and lower. Squeezing every part of our bodies. We shouldn't feel any pressure or tension in that low back. If you are, pull that belly button up a little bit harder and lengthen your arms and legs away from the center a little bit more. On this next one, either keep this speed or start to speed it up, lifting and lowering. And then lastly, option 2, hover both arms, both legs for a little flutter kick here. Keep your head neutral, looking down at your mat. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Hands can come right underneath the chest. We're going to press back into child's pose. Knees can open a little bit wider if they need to. And hands reach forward. Take a nice deep breath here, relaxing the belly fully. As you inhale, really fill all of those spaces in the back of the rib cage. Last deep breath. Perfect. From here, let's go ahead and come on to our hands and knees. Knees directly underneath the hips, about hip distance apart. Hands directly under the shoulders, about shoulder distance apart. From here, find a nice flat back, all the way from tailbone through the top of the head. Pull and lift that belly button up and away towards your spine. Head is neutral, it's not drooping down, it's not sticking up. Lengthen the back of your neck towards the ceiling. From here, hold this position, and we're just going to exhale and hand taps opposite shoulder. Alternating sides, hand taps opposite shoulder while everything else is still. Last one on each side. Good. From here, we're going to stay on our knees like this, but we're going to drop down onto our forearms here. Perfect. So from here, we're going to exhale and hinge one hip up towards the ceiling, and then hinge it down. Exhale, lift. Bottom of the foot like it's going to stamp on the ceiling, and down. On this last one, hold lifted, little pulses, little squeezes. You can see on me that I'm not lifting that knee high enough that my back arches. So it's okay if your knee stays kind of lower than your hip. Last two, hold lifted, straighten that leg long, reaching it away, and bend it into 90. Exhale, lengthen long, and bend in. Last one. On this last one, hold lengthened, little squeezes up. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee in. Perfect. Give it a little shake side to side as we prepare for the other. So to start off, knee stays bent at 90, and we're just going to hinge, squeeze, and lower. If this is a lot of pressure on your knees, you might want to fold something else up, fold your mat up, put another little blanket underneath. On this last one, hold lifted, little squeezes to the top without arching the back. For 3, 2, 1, hold lifted, just lengthen that leg. Use the hamstring to curl back up to the top. And again, lengthen it long like someone's pulling it away, and curl in. On this last one, hold that leg straight, lengthen and reach it long, squeeze. Little squeezes. 1 inch up, 1 inch down for 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Bend that knee in. Relax back in child's pose, reaching the arms long. Take that left hand and thread it through the right armpit. Turn to the side, looking towards that left hand. Gentle twist of the shoulders. And then switching sides. Right hand threads underneath left armpit and looking towards the side. Expanding through the rib cage and back out to the center. We're going to prepare here for a little plank series, so either hands or forearms, whichever you prefer. If you're on your forearms, maybe try to keep them parallel instead of hands clasped. So parallel, maybe palms face up, pressing down through those forearms or hands. Lengthen one leg long and then the other. Just hold here, setting your foundation, setting your position. Straight line all the way from heels through the top of your head. If you can here, we're going to start to bend one knee and then switch. One knee bent, one knee straight, and switch. Just kind of pedaling out. Last one on each side. And take a little break. If you are on your hands, maybe roll out your wrists if you need to. One more set of planks here, setting yourself up just like you did. Either forearms parallel, palms up, or hands. One leg straight, then the other, and hold. Find your good strong position, good form. Shoulders down away from your ears. And then from here, we're going to take just a little hip dip. So hips drop to one side and right back up to our starting position. See if you can keep your legs relatively still and just isolate this to our pelvis. Good. them forward and take a nice little shake. Shake out those legs. And then we will fold right forward. First, kind of reach towards our toes here. Might feel kind of tight. Maybe rocking from side to side if that feels good. Letting your head go if that feels good. When you're ready, we're going to restack the spine one on top of the other. So all the way up to the top. Hands are going to come out in front. Pull your belly button in like there's a string attached from the top of your head that's pulling you straight up. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. From here, tuck your tailbone down and start to slowly lower, rounding your spine as much as you can. Reminder to relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to only lower as far down as we know we can control and slowly start to come back up, restacking the spine, one on top of the other. Good. Again, tuck, tailbone under, relax your shoulders. Like someone's trying to poke you in the belly button, but you're trying to get away from that. And restack all the way back up to the top. On this next one, we're not going to lower quite as far down, maybe halfway. Hold here, relax the legs, and then inhale one arm up, exhale it down. Inhale one arm up, exhale down. Maybe feeling a little bit more of a challenge as we move weight away from the center of the body. Last one. Good. Roll forward and just release and relax towards those toes. Perfect. Let's bring in a little bit of rotation here before we switch positions. We're going to have hands out in front again. We're going to roll down, creating a nice C curve through the spine, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. From here, we're going to inhale and reach open towards the back corner of your mat, and then exhale, close. Inhale, reach back as far as you can. See if you can tap that back corner of your mat, and then exhale back up to the top. Last one on each side. And roll forward, release, and relax. Awesome job. From here, we're going to turn to face the front if you're not already. We're going to come into a nice butterfly position with soles of the feet together, knees wide, and bring your nose to your toes. You can adjust this based on how close your feet are towards you. Maybe it feels better when feet are a little bit more away or closer in. Option to gently press one knee down if that feels good. Switching sides. Back to the center, maybe option to take one hand up towards the ceiling, looking toward that side, feeling a deeper stretch along the side and low back of the body. And switch. Maybe one side feels tighter than the other. Perfect. From here, sit up tall again and crisscross those legs. One more stretch to the side, either hand or elbow, reaching up and over with the other hand. making sure that that opposite hip doesn't pop up. We're anchored and glued to the mat. From here, we're going to take this top shoulder and exhale, round it down. Inhale, chest to ceiling, looking up. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, up. Last one. Switching sides, either hand or elbow, nice long reach. Side of the body. And then if you want to, exhale, round that top shoulder forward. Inhale, up, open. Exhale. Last one. And back up to the top, we're going to clasp those hands together. Reach your hands forward and your chest backwards. Breathing into all of those spaces. And then reach your chest, or reach your hands behind you, open your chest. Inhale, maybe looking up. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. They come up and then they slide down the back, shoulder blades towards your back pockets. On this last one, inhale, reach your shoulders up towards your ears. I want you to squeeze your eyes, your hands, your toes, every muscle that you possibly can. All that stress and tension in, and exhale, shake it out and relax it down. One more just like that. Inhale, everything up and in. And exhale, let it go. Awesome, awesome job. As always, if you have any questions or comments, let me know.